Get ready for action, assassins, and a whole lot of red leather. This week, we're diving into Elektra, the Jennifer Garner-led superhero spinoff that tried to give Marvel's deadly assassin her moment. Let's see if Elektra still holds up or is just another mid-2000s superhero misstep.
Welcome to the No More Late Fees podcast. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Danielle, and we're just two best friends and ex-Blockbuster employees rewatching some of the best and worst movies from the late 90s and early 2000s. This week, we're sharpening our size and diving into Elektra, the 2005 spinoff that took Jennifer Garner's character from Daredevil and put her in the spotlight. But before we dive in, let's get into some
housekeeping.
If you love the podcast and you want to support us, here's a few ways you can.
So if you love this podcast, don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Your reviews help us grow and keep the nostalgia alive.
And while you're there, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. We've got plenty more deep dives into your favorite and not so favorite Y2K movies coming up.
And if you want to show off your love for nostalgia, check out our No More Late Fees merch at nomorelatefees.redbubble.com. From movie-inspired designs to podcast swag, we've got something for every movie lover.
And joining us for this epic takedown are our returning guests and treasure pals, Andrew and Sam.
Hello again.
Hey.
Hello. Welcome back, guys. If you want to learn more about Andrew and Sam, check out Andrew's previous episodes of Spice World and Kung Pao. Listen at your own risk. And Sam's episodes of The Mummy Returns, 13 Ghosts, and Cube. 13 Ghosts is one of my favorite episodes ever, and so I am so excited Sam's back. I'm excited you're back too, Andrew, but for different reasons.
I'm also realizing I'm an episode behind him now.
I fucking knew it. When I was putting this in there, I was like, this dude is gonna be like
gotta get those numbers up.
Plus, you won't want to miss this week's bonus episode where we rank our favorite OG MCU ladies. So, Danielle, what is Elektra about? Because I watched it, I'm still confused.
Look, let's establish some rules here, okay? This burn book is not going to be used except for probably Lil Raj or any one of you bitches who fucks with Elektra today. Elektra follows the deadly assassin Elektra Natchios as she's brought back to life by a mystical order. Hired for a new mission, she finds herself torn between duty and compassion when she's ordered to kill a father and daughter on the run. With supernatural enemies and a tragic past, Elektra must embrace her true power to protect them. The movie stars Jennifer Garner, Goran Visnjic, Kirsten Prout, and Terrence Stamp. And it was directed by Rob Bowman, written by Zach Penn, Stuart Zeigerman, and Raven Metzner, and it was based on the comic book characters by Frank Miller. You can currently watch the movie on Max, Hulu, and Prime. But before we start, let's get into our ratings rewind.
So you know the drill. Before we get into the movie, we'll reveal the rating our Y2K versions of ourselves would give. Then at the end, we'll see if our current selves agree with our initial rating. Our scale consists of would buy it again.
The best, would play on repeat.
5-day rental.
Would watch again.
2-day rental.
Okay, but nothing to write home about.
And same-day rental.
Garbage. Trash. Straight up trash. Throw it away.
So, Andrew, we'll start with you. What is your Y2K rating of Elektra?
So I think my Y2K rating of Elektra would have been trash. Straight up trash. Because I never saw it back when it came out.
Oh, well, then
that's
it's never seen.
Never seen.
Well,
yeah.
Well, to be fair, I didn't want to see it.
But you never seen it.
That was the primary thing.
Sam.
I actively avoided.
5-day rental. My Y2K self was a 5-day rental. I was starved for Marvel and DC content, live action, so I was so hyped for this movie.
Danielle?
I wasn't that starved.
It was a would buy, Jackie. It was a wood buy. I had 2 versions of the DVD. Yeah, yeah. I was in, for context, if you guys are new to the show, I'm a die-hard Jennifer Garner fan. It started with Felicity, continued to Alias, and then every other garbage thing she made after that, I was down for it. Ate it all up. And when Elektra came out, I was like, yes. Because you know a girl cried in the fucking theater with Daredevil and she died. I was very upset. But I know it was a part of her character's canon. So
Well, not only are you a diehard Jennifer Garner fan, you are a diehard comic book fan as well. So
well that too.
when these two forces combined, Danielle was like,
Captain
"Take my
Planet.
money." Say less.
Jackie.
I've never seen this movie because Danielle was at college. Were you in New York by the time this came out in
No, I
2005?
still was in school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Danielle was in college, so I didn't have to go see this with her. Well, tell us about the box office.
I just want you guys to know I left the theater after seeing this movie feeling satisfied. So what is about to come next? I'm shocked. I had no idea this was happening out in the real world while I was experiencing cinema.
I'm
Okay?
going to preface, I am not going to try to throw any shade to Jennifer Garner, but I have questions about this movie. So just be prepared. It's not Jennifer Garner. It's the movie.
The budget for this movie was $43 million. I think that was a significant amount of money to throw at this movie after, especially after Daredevil. But
Yeah.
okay. But my girl was worth it. Because you know what? It might not have done well with the critics, but it made its money back at least. At least. Not many people could say that. It made $56 million.
I think it's what Sam said. Like, people were just starved for comic book movies, and they're like, okay, we'll just go see whatever they put out.
And it's unfortunate because like there was a lot of things going against this movie, and we'll talk about it. It's unfortunate because you know that the studios want an excuse not to make women-led, especially action movies. So this was the first Marvel movie featuring a female lead. And it's funny that years later, we're still experiencing this nonsense because look how long it took them to make the Black Widow movie and the catastrophe fuck up that they set that up. And then what they did to the Marvels. It's just like every time.
Yeah.
Anywho, it opened January 14th, 2005. It domestically grossed, like I said, it grossed $24 million at the time in its opening weekend. And it was the lowest for a film featuring a Marvel Comics character since Howard the Duck.
Oh.
All I'm seeing is that those were 2 misunderstood movies.
Fair.
I loved Howard the Duck when I was little.
I did too, except for the
sex
that man.
stuff.
It just scared the shit out of me, and now he's a pedophile. So
which man?
The bad guy in it.
Oh, I gotta look him up. He's a pedophile?
I'm pretty sure that's. Let me fact check before I be putting this out in the universe.
Alleged.
Who's the main girl? Who's the main girl in there?
Yeah. Continue, and I will fact check myself.
Well, let's see what Lil Raj had to say. Like I said, all February, me and this motherfucker are fighting. Lil Raj of the Chicago Sun-Times gave this film 1.5 out of 4 and wrote, plays like a collision between leftover bits and pieces of a Marvel superhero story. It can't decide what tone to strike. Helen O'Hara at Empire Magazine gave the film 2 out of 5 stars and says, despite oozing star quality, Garner struggles to rise above the limitations of the script. Again, I heard not her fault. Just saying. Film critic Scott Mendelson blamed the film for ruining Jennifer Garner's career and said it killed off the notion of a female lead superhero movie for a decade. Again, not her fault. I don't think it killed her career. I think what ended up happening, she started having kids and, because she was like, I think in an interview, she was like, when did I become like the action girl? So I think she started to pivot because this fell and she's like, you know what? Alias ended. I'm going to try to do more indie acting roles. And then we got Butter, we got Juno, she started being in
Catch
some
and
ensemble.
release.
I blame Ben Affleck.
Yes, Ben Affleck is a killer of careers when he's with his ladies.
He domesticated her.
Not untrue.
Update. Yes. The bad guy in Howard the Duck is played by Jeffrey Jones, who is
yes, he is.
Ferris Bueller, and he is a pedophile.
Beetlejuice.
Yes, that's why he's not in Beetlejuice 2.
Exactly. So I
Nasty.
was right.
Yeah. Tragic.
Well, before we jump into cast and crew, let's hear a message from our pod pals.
Hey, I'm Sam, and welcome to 4 Minutes 2, the 4-minute comic book podcast, giving you the latest in comic book related news and reviews. From DC to indie, from Marvel to manga, from animated TV to anime in 3D. If it's got pictures and words, I'm your nerd. So subscribe today. Do it now. Please. Check us out on all major podcast platforms, as well as TikTok and YouTube.
Tracking back to what I will continue to say throughout this movie, this episode, that this movie was not Jennifer Garner's fault. She did not want to film the movie, but she had to due to legal contractual obligations from Daredevil. So they set my girl up, even though this is a perfectly good movie.
Mm-hmm. No, see, I would agree with you on this one because I've never watched this movie and I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Oh, welcome to the good side, Andrew.
Yes, I had no interest in seeing this movie back when it came out, but for preparation for this, watched the Daredevil director's cut, and I jumped straight into Elektra, and I watched Elektra, and I was like, I like this movie, and I can see why everybody used to love Jennifer Garner so much. Because she was a hottie hot, and she did a really good job. And the movie did terribly, and we never got Daredevil 2 with the sequel, bringing them back together.
I built a Lego orchid while watching this movie.
Opinions may vary.
I had to keep my mind occupied enough so it didn't want to turn this movie off.
I couldn't look away. I tried to go grab some. I was like, I gotta pause it because I can't miss a thing. Because I will say, from a timing standpoint, there aren't a lot of like lulls. I felt like a good amount of action with some talking that moved the story along. The only thing that we'll get into it. We'll get into it. But like I said, Jennifer Garner was filming Alias, so this production was tight because they were doing it on her hiatus I think during the summer. I'm trying to see, they only had 62 days to film this. That is tight.
Yeah. Ben Affleck reprised his role as Matt Murdock / Daredevil in a deleted cameo appearance where he appeared to Natchios in a dream sequence.
I think it was wise to not have that in there.
Yeah. Because it was Elektra. It's not Daredevil. It's her story, and I think it would take away from her story.
I think if Daredevil hadn't done as bad as it did, they would have kept it. But because it did so poorly, I think they wanted to like cut as much connection to it as if people had amnesia and didn't know.
Although to be fair, I think Daredevil was about $67 million or $70 million it cost, and I think it made about 107. So,
but
okay.
Due to the low level response from the previous film, Daredevil, promotion for this movie claimed ties to the X-Men movie instead, which had a much higher popularity response. The promotional mention of ties to the Daredevil movie only took place 1 week before the Elektra movie was to be released.
Wow.
I'm telling you, they were trying to cut ties. Because yes, financially Daredevil made money, but people talk so much shit about that movie.
But Elektra was in Daredevil to like not to just be like, oh, from the same creators of the X-Men comes Elektra. It's like, bitch, we saw her in the Daredevil movie 2 years ago. What are you talking about?
And people who are not comic book lovers were probably like, I thought that bitch died.
Yeah.
How now?
Is this a prequel? Like, what's going on?
But people went to see it. That's all I'm saying. Like, it maybe not as big as they wanted it to be because X-Men really set the bar. But, you know.
So in March 2005, producer Avi Arad told investors that Marvel had made a mistake rushing Elektra into release. We will never do that again, he said. In an email released because of the Sony Pictures hack, a Marvel Entertainment CEO, Ike Perlmutter, cited Elektra as an example of an unprofitable female-led superhero film. He wrote, very bad idea, and the end result was very, very bad. Did Trump write his internal?
Pump your brakes, get a thesaurus, because how many times do you just say bad?
Yeah.
I think you know what I would like to do? I'd like to pull up the male action films from that time period, money-wise, and see if it was as bad as everybody said. Like, give me a break. I've seen
Talk to
worse.
us about Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer.
Praise.
I mean, funny thing about Ike Perlmutter, decades later, he would rush into production the Inhumans TV show.
And I said lies. I called it. And that thing was atrocious.
Yeah, because Daredevil was released February 14th, 2003. Exactly 2 years later, Elektra came out.
Yeah,
so like
fast.
Yeah, to be able to see numbers are good enough to warrant a spinoff, and then write the script and then get into production and have a limited production because your lead is on a TV show, and so you have to work within her schedule. Like 2 years is crazy.
I'm so confused. Like, as much as I love this movie, I don't know how it got made. Like, I don't know why it was greenlit, because you're complaining and bitching that it's an origin piece didn't do well. Why would you make this? In 2000, X-Men did really well. So why not give one of those characters a spinoff?
Well, they made up for it with Logan. And
I mean, we know that now, but like it just like doesn't add up why you would skip a successful one. Or, well, we didn't have Blade Trinity yet, but you could have made a Spider-Man spinoff. Like, well, that was with Sony. But again, I just don't understand how this got made. Were they just like, we're gonna just keep throwing characters out there and make money?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
And maybe they were just like, hey, we have a contracted actress who's already played this character. It's easy to just we have her on the hook, let's just use her.
When I was watching the movie and I was just like, oh, Elektra and stuff, and I saw like Dr. Luca from ER, I was like, oh my God, I know this.
And I sat the whole movie like, he looks familiar.
Because I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder if Jackie remembers us, the guy from Practical Magic.
Oh, was it the bad guy?
Uh-huh.
Ah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was excited they had Shang Tsung from the Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. So I was like, wait a minute, he's there.
Yeah.
You know? Also Bob Sapp, who was the very big black guy kind of smashing things around later in the forest.
What was he a WWE wrestler?
No, he was actually like an Ultimate Fighter or something like that, way back in the early days of UFC. And he used to be in Japan all the time when they were like, got a big black guy to do something. And it's like, the Japanese would fly him out and he'd be there. Bob Sapp.
So weird.
He had a lot of internet notoriety way back then.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like, who is this dude? He's pretty big.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah. The guy who played the real bad guy's son, or the William Lee, what's his character's name? Garigi. I had it bad for him back in the day, and I can't remember what other movies and TV shows like that he's been in. I feel like, was he on The Good Doctor?
He was.
Okay, yes.
He was Dr. Alex Park.
Yeah, I've been having.
He was in 112 episodes, so yeah, he was there. In Hawaii 5-0.
Yes.
Okay, that's where
yes. But yeah, and he's been aging like fine wine. I'm just saying. He did the best he could with this movie, but he was great eye candy for me. I think I would have slept with a good amount of people in this movie. What'd you say, Jackie?
You almost said this shit, and then you pivoted. I was like, oh.
All right,
Well,
let's get into it.
yeah. So we see Elektra. After she's been brought back to life, she is an assassin for hire. So she goes into places, cleans house, and then literally cleans the house to remove all of her DNA. I don't even know who that guy is. He just assigns her new cases.
Oh
Every
yeah,
assassin needs a handler. Like they
that's
need someone to
true.
do the money and stuff. I'm focused on the killing. You got to do like balance the books, like
Facts.
transfer the monies to the Cayman Islands or wherever your secret accounts
Answer
are.
the emails, take the phone calls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
doing all that crap.
because they're not supposed to know who she is in real time. So I guess that makes sense.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Just a note
Mhm.
that Electra's fan in this movie rivals only Beyonce's. Because that girl's hair was just all over the place. I was like, why is there so much wind on her?
Well, and when she's assassinating people, hair down in her face. When she's just walking around, braided, like tied back. Like I was like, what's happening here, Elektra? What are we doing? You don't
That
want
looked good.
DNA anywhere.
Right, but your hair is flowing in the
Yeah.
wind.
Mm.
Yeah, see, you know,
And it
that's
and
it.
it didn't just
Wrap it
flow
up.
like it didn't just flow like out of her face. Sometimes it was like in her face. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Beyonce's fan never does that. But
Beyonce is not doing flippies through the air with size
she's
to
doing great
cut people.
choreography. You know. Back to her handler, McCabe is his name, I think. It says that he has no comic book counterpart. However, there was a character named Nina McCabe or McCabe, I don't know, first introduced by comic book writer Peter Milligan in the first short-lived Elektra ongoing series. Nina's father was killed in front of Elektra, and Elektra sort of adopted her, becoming her sensei. So the character of Nina is pretty similar to Abby. So it's like they took maybe one character and split her. I don't know.
They do
Interesting.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue, Jackie.
I love Chat GPT. It says through a series of moody flashbacks. Electra's parents were killed when she was young. Her dad was kind of like a drill sergeant, like making her just tread water in a pool for an insane amount of time and just really hard on her. And then later on, she was trained under a mythical martial arts order called the Chaste,
Yes. Yeah.
Chaste, to hone her fighting skills. But then when she thought she was going to be like the chosen one, they were like, now you got to go. And she's like, what the fuck? Like, I don't have anywhere to go. This is my home. And they're like, bye. See you later.
Because they brought her back to life,
Yeah.
which I was confused. Like they don't really bridge the gap because again, they're trying not to show too much of Daredevil, so they
Yeah.
just show her at the morgue on the thing that you pull out of whatever, and like he's like, "You shall be arisen again," and she wakes up, and then she's learning, and he's pretty much telling her she has too much anger, like she's not letting go her rage. Quite frankly, I don't know what she was raging about. Was it the daddy issues? Because we never see a flashback of her being mad at Bullseye for fucking killing her.
Yeah.
So the rage I don't understand. Do you guys get why she's so angry?
No. And like, because we watched Daredevil like over a year ago, and then my brain was like, okay, we locked that up, never to speak of it again. I was like, I don't remember when she died. Is this like before Daredevil, and that's how she had her skills in Daredevil? I was
No,
already
she
checked out at this
she
point
died
because I'm like, I
after.
don't know when this is happening. I don't know when she died. I don't know when she got brought back to, like, I did not remember any of that. So it's just like, okay, I was watching this movie solely on vibes.
Yeah.
No
It kind of
context.
feels like it was a bit of both. Like it jumped around a little bit. Like
So
I assumed she trained before she died, and then she got brought back, and then maybe trained some more. I wasn't sure either.
That's what I assumed.
sorry, I'm about to. Well,
Mhm.
Mhm.
actually, I watched Daredevil afterwards just to because I needed to get the full. Basically, she trained under a new sensei every year since she was 5, according to her. And so that's why she had all those martial arts skills in Daredevil, and then she was killed, and then she was trained by the
Dick.
stick and they gave her like even more and more cooler martial arts skills, and she got really good. But again, they were like, "You're too angry, and you can't
In
keep
the
you there."
in the comic books, is that his name?
Stick.
Does
Yeah.
is he involved in her storyline? Because I know he's traditionally in Daredevil storyline, if I'm
Yeah.
correct, right?
So weird that they threw him in there.
You're right.
And because I'm like, he's not in the Daredevil movie, but he's in the Elektra movie.
Yeah.
Weird.
He's been involved with both in the books. But yeah,
Okay.
A little bit, but more Daredevil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
More
and
him.
I was like, okay, so did Daredevil introduce this other blind guy to Elektra, and that's how she knows him? I was very confused.
Daredevil doesn't know stick in the Daredevil movie. He
Yeah.
learned all that
Yeah.
stuff by himself. All of it, apparently.
Because you'd think he'd be like, Elektra, here, meet my friend Stick. And he'd be
Yeah.
like, no, I'm over here. Over here, my friend Stick. And then, I'm sorry. I had that idea in my head as a gag and I had to get it out. So, it was a visual gag for people listening where I pointed in the wrong direction and then referenced the right side. So now you know.
Yeah, so I was just very confused. So she got some training and then she was kicked out. And so she's like even more angry because now she was asked to leave her home and now she's just an assassin for hire because she's like, fuck this shit, like Hawkeye in Endgame. Yeah.
Yeah. You got
I also think that she hasn't like she doesn't believe in the mythos of what they're fighting for. Like she's down for the fighting part, but she's not like trying to get wrapped up in this like the hand kind of thing. And I think that's the problem. And also even the ethos of like that she's supposed to be some chosen one savior kind of tipping the balance of good and evil or something like that.
even though she's been resurrected with the ability to see the future and how she might die in a fight, so she can avoid those things.
Right. But she's still not. She's like, I like the gifts, but everything else.
You need me to hit somebody though? I could do that. Totally do that.
Well, and yeah, that was the other thing. I was like, I don't understand what this hand is. I don't know why when certain people die, they turn into green gas. Like, I don't know why that guy's tattoos keep coming out of his body. Like, this is really fucking weird, and I don't care for
Are like, yeah, I was like, are some of them mutants? Like, where are
Yeah.
these powers coming from? Do
They're
y'all
like,
know?
so the hand are like almost like demon foot soldier things, and they turn into gas because they're pretty much just made of mist and stuff. You can just summon an infinity of them. Just think of like putties from like Power Rangers. You just send out foot soldiers, and they're easily dispatched. And then there's like stronger ones who have abilities, but like ultimately they're just like foot soldier things that you can summon.
When Elektra killed them, did they not really die?
No, I think they really die when she kills them. I think it's
Yeah.
just that they can be resurrected again. And then that's just how their resurrection is not as neat and tidy as the Chaste. So it's just like when you die, you're going to burst into flames, and maybe we'll bring you back, but you burst into flames, and that's pretty much it.
I think any reference to the hand, I think they definitely did a better job kind of explaining what the hand was in the Netflix TV shows of Daredevil, and they were even included in Iron Fist. I think they were because Sigourney Weaver was part of that and as the villain in one of them, I believe. Was it the Defenders, I think.
So Elektra gets a new job. She doesn't really want to take it, but it's for a double kill. And so she's like, okay. And so she's tasked with going to like the Pacific Northwest and like sitting in this house for a while. And you can see like she's very routine. She has everything like organized just so. And then all of a sudden this little girl, not little girl, this 13-year-old girl appears in her house, is trying to steal her cartouche. And Electra's like, the fuck you have in your hand, ma'am?
Right. She could tell this little girl is a liar, is a thief. And also you kind of get a sense that she's got some sort of powers or something going because like you see her first of all, she's able to even get into Electra's house without any kind of like alerts going on for her right away. And then you see her shadows kind of move really fast. But I do want to say that one thing we missed from the very beginning of the movie, besides the Beyonce fans, is that Papa Malfoy was the guy that was getting killed. Did you guys not from
Oh, I didn't.
You're right.
Jason Isaacs?
It was
Jason
him.
Isaacs, yes.
You're right.
I said,
That was Lucius?
it sure was. And I was like, oh my
Right.
God, how fun would it have been if he had his
Oh,
Lucius wig and her
yeah.
wig blowing it like they could have had a blow off with each other. But yeah, he was the guy narrating. Like that whole scene in general was hilarious to me because this man's about to get killed and he looks like he's about to orgasm. He's so excited as she comes for him. I'm just that's how I interpreted that scene. But okay, go back. Sorry, I had to call it out because I'm
No,
like,
you're
why is
fine.
he in this? So we kick out the girl.
Yes.
And then she does a lot of scenes of just sitting around in the house, like, what's happening? I'm waiting, calling McCabe, and then sitting on some tree stump high up. And that's when she's introduced to Mark Miller. And I remember remembering his name because we had a friend in high school named Mark Miller. So I was like, ah.
And we always had to say it twice. So like as soon as they said Mark Miller, I'm like, oh, Mark Miller, Mark Miller. Like, so every time they said his name, it triggered that. So yes, Mark Miller is the father of the Teef. And it's Christmas Day, and the little girl comes over and she's like, hey, come have dinner with us. And Elektra doesn't even know that it's Christmas Day. It's just another day of waiting around for her assignment to her. And so she's like, no, I'm good. And the girl's like, it's Christmas. Come, blah, blah, blah. My dad said to invite you. And so Elektra shows up, and the dad's like, oh, what are you doing here? And she's like, that girl fucking lied.
I like I would have really enjoyed if they just made this movie more of like teacher student,
Yes.
mother daughter feels, sister daughter, whatever it is, that vibe instead of making this forced attraction with the dad. There wasn't enough time to do all that, but they still made it. And I think that's just from the studios feeling like there, if there's a female lead, there has to be some sort of romance. And it just felt weird and out of place. I think even back then when I saw it, I was just like, I'm not shipping this because I don't know what this is. Did you guys feel the same way? Or
Yeah, it felt like I was like, and you're gonna be the mom. Like it was just like, why are we shipping them so hard all of a sudden?
right.
Like, y'all know each other
I
for
mean, I
like
could see why he was attracted. But,
well, no, yeah, I mean, duh, but like
I didn't know
72
what she was
hours.
getting out of it.
72 hours she's making out with this dude. I'm just like,
I've been alone up here in a cabin with my daughter. No one's here. Ah, but you're here, beautiful woman.
This is my one Jennifer Garner critique. And I think in those like quiet moments where she's just supposed to be like this OCD loner assassin, I didn't feel that much range from her. Like, I wish I had gotten more. I think Angelina Jolie is really good at like quiet acting, just with like physical actions and like slight like facial things or like or whatever. And I just think at this time Jennifer Garner was not there yet. Like I think she is there now. I just think this was little early in her career for that. The action flawless, but like those quiet moments were just kind of I wanted more.
I agree, and I just think it's this movie because if you watch Alias, she's really good at it. Like that girl will have you crying. Just, but I think she also had, it's a TV show. You have more time to like open up that character. And again, we know how little time we had with this movie, and the script didn't give much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. Like, not enough with the moments in between to like we don't really get to know Elektra. We get the
No.
flashbacks and we see action, and that's it. Like that's as much of the character we're getting.
Well, and I'm like, I remember, I was like, I feel like this is a different character than Daredevil because like she was so passionate in Daredevil and we got none of that. And I'm like, is she really just going to come in and just kill these two people for a paycheck? Like it just didn't, for me, that connection wasn't there. Like I remember her being a very full fleshed out character in Daredevil, where this, it was just like, okay, they're going to pay me. I don't care if it's a 13-year-old girl. And if she hadn't met the girl prior to getting her assignment, she probably would have carried it out and not thought twice about it.
Yeah. Their Christmas dinner now, and she immediately realizes that there are assassins at the house. And no, it's did she leave? Was it another day or was it the same day?
She left, and then she finally, so like she was waiting for the actual person she's supposed to assassinate, and then she
Right.
found out it was the two, and she was gonna like snipe them, and then
Mm-hmm.
decided not to because she had built a connection.
With the little girl, yeah. And then she tells McCabe, like, I'm not doing this job. And she like is ready to leave. She's at the ferry because they're on an island.
Mm-hmm.
And then she sees people from the hand. Now, while all this is happening, we get to see. I love how all these bad guys have corporate boardrooms. Like, what are we doing here? Are we
Yeah.
renting? Do we have a building? Are we like money laundering? So we have a business? Like, I don't get it. But we meet, what's this man's name? Krieg?
Kirichi?
Yeah, Kreegi and his dad and another lackey guy because of I think originally it makes it seem like he's hiring Elektra, but we find out later that they didn't hire Elektra. It was he had another team of people that he tries to send. He wants to do things quietly and not he calls Kreegi and his people abominations. So that makes me wonder, like, how did they all get their weird powers and stuff like that if everybody isn't associated in the hand in that way? So, and we also find out that he is a Nepo baby because his daddy runs the gang or their element of the gang. Because I believe the hand is like multiple layers. It's not just like one group, right?
Seems to be. A lot
Yeah.
of fingers.
Yeah. So they try to send their people and it doesn't go well because Elektra's able to stop them and then she goes to help when she realizes they come to the island to attack the kids. Right.
Yeah, so essentially she becomes like their savior, and then they're kind of on the run from the hand now. And I think at this point, Electra kind of has an inkling that there's something going on with the little girl. And the little girl keeps telling the dad, like, we need to tell her why they're after me. And the dad's like, no, we're not doing that.
Because he
So
doesn't
then,
know if they can trust her.
yeah,
And he was right not to trust her. That bitch was trying to kill them.
yeah. But then after, like, she saved their lives a couple of times, I'd probably be like, I think she's on our side.
Yeah.
So they end up at McCabe's house. He does not have nearly enough security being like the governing body of an assassin.
I mean, he has a back door. I mean, like I think he never
Secret
thought,
tunnel.
right.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever thought it was gonna get to this level. Like he was like, "You fucking with the hand, girl, don't do it." He told her not to do it.
My favorite part is when they like go into the house, like he welcomes them in and he sends them into the house. He's talking to Electra. He takes the shotgun and puts it under his chin. He's like, "Do you want to pull the trigger or should I?" He's just like, we're gonna die. You
Yeah.
screwed with the hand. We are
Right.
gonna die. There's no way this doesn't get killed. We all end up dead because of this."
I
Mhm.
also love the scene that when the hand approaches them and is going to attack the house, that he tells them about the secret back door thing and he's like, get her to safety, whatever. Again, they still don't really know the full breadth of like who the little girl is. And when she's like, well, what about you to McCabe? He's like, just go. And she's like, fuck. And it hits her that, wow, he is actually giving up himself like to help protect this girl. And I don't think she's ever seen this side of him because he's always been about the money. He cares about Elektra. Like he told her that she needed to take some rest or whatever, but I don't think she saw him beyond what his role has been with her so far. So I thought that was pretty cool, even though he doesn't last but a half a second.
Couldn't stop running his mouth.
Yeah, and then I am saying this man's name wrong so bad. Kreegi like puts his hands around the guy's. He's like, "Oh, you don't even have to talk. I guess he pulls memories. He's got a lot of different powers that I don't understand." And they are able to, which is weird because he sees Elektra and the dad and everybody like leaving the trap door, but it's like it's seeming as if McCabe is seeing that, even though he's really just showing him that there's a back entrance door or
You're
whatever.
thinking about it too hard. It doesn't make
I'm
sense.
sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I know. I thought the same thing.
If his powers are like psychometry, then touching him is allowing him to get a vision of the
Oh no,
future
Sam's going deeper.
based off of the way the person is. So he's basically seeing the future by touching him, not actually reading his memories.
Getting really nerdy.
Thanks, Sam. It's much better than Andrew telling me, mansplaining I was thinking too hard.
I'm telling you, anyone is thinking too hard if we think about this. This isn't just mansplaining. It makes sense.
But one of the things that also happens throughout the whole movie is that we're getting flashbacks of when Elektra sees her mom dead in her bedroom and essentially saw who killed her mom. And it's very interesting. I do like that they do this because your memories as a child aren't always reliable. So originally, as a child, she's always seen this like devil horn dude kill her mom. And then as time progresses, she realizes it's actually Kuriji or whatever in the past that went in a ninja suit that killed her mom. And my question is, what moisturizer is he using? Because he looks so young to
He's
have been,
immortal.
got it.
He's Korean.
Also got it. And the other thing is that we never get the connection to Elektra's mom to this whole situation. Why did they kill her mom? Was her mom kind of like a warrior, like the little girl's mom was, or something? Like I never quite understand. Was Elektra a candidate for the treasure? Like, what is this? Was her mom a treasure?
I think it was because of her dad. I think because like her dad was working with Wilson Fisk, but I feel like he was also into some hinky stuff.
Yeah.
So she was killed almost like a warning to her.
Yeah.
And that's probably why he ramped up her training. It was just like, okay, you need to be able to protect yourself because, you know.
Yeah, I kind of assumed it was just the same thing. Like her dad was working with some crooked people and he crossed the hand. So they went after the wife. Just like when he crossed Fisk and Daredevil, they went after him.
Yeah. Because Fisk isn't he like somehow associated to the hand as well?
He's employed them sometimes, and I think there was a brief period of time where he ran the hand in the comics, but it's like different organizations.
Yeah.
Okay. And now they're on the run.
Yes. This is where we see like the henchmen for the hand, where it's like all these people that have different abilities. So there's like Typhoid, who like if she kisses you, you die. There's Tattoo Man that can like have his tattoos come off his body and become the animals that are tattooed. There's the big strong man that's just big and strong.
And he's made of stone because McCabe shoots him with a shotgun and it's just nothing to him. His skin is strong like stone.
And his skin breaks one of her size too at one point. So they're all kind of trying to get to her and the little girl. At some point, the little girl just kind of comes out of nowhere and reveals herself, and she has like this chain whip thing that she uses.
She was annoying to me after a while. She you know, our list of annoying kids, I think Mummy 2 was one of the kid. She definitely gets there because she just starts aggravating my nerves. I do love when Elektra calls it out like, you're a pain in my ass. I said, hell yeah, she is.
Very annoying child. Very annoying.
And the dad is like no help in that fight scene.
No.
I mean, he throws a knife and
he does.
Kills the guy.
But I do love that that's a choice that they don't make one of the male leads actually useful in any way, that he's kind of like the damsel in distress. If that makes sense. They did have a deleted scene where Mark Miller's character actually does do something. There was like a promo depicting him of effectively fighting off ninjas at the cabin, but they deleted it. And I think I didn't mind it. I didn't mind that he couldn't do nothing. Because it was realistic.
Yeah, because she has done all the training and he has just sat in the woods and protected his daughter. Yeah.
Orange slices and water for his baby. Go ahead and kick some ass, girl. I'm right here supporting you.
So eventually Elektra's like, okay, cut all this bullshit. Like, you and me, like is this after she's killed all the henchmen people?
Well, before they are officially before they go to McCabe's, they go and meet Stick at this pool
Yes.
hall, and she's essentially trying to just say, here, take them. They need your help. This is the kind of shit you do, gooder shit you do. Take them. And he's like, nah. What? And he's starting to like try to sensei mind wipe her ass or like mind fuck her and say, well, why did you save them? Why didn't you kill them? Then she realized that he hired her to kill them in the first place. So it's like a whole cat and mouse thing. And so then they leave because he's essentially, I'm not helping these people. I don't,
Yeah.
And he calls out the fact that Mark Miller lied. He's like, you know why you're getting chased. And that's when he starts to say, well, yes, they killed my wife and all this other stuff. And so she finds out. And that's when they get in the car and they're heading to McCabe and they find the tattoo fucking bird thing, which was creepy.
Yeah.
And now once they get out of the trap door, they're fighting. Elektra kills a few people. And then the typhoid Mary lady, that's when, like you said, she makes out with Elektra, essentially almost killing her. And then out of nowhere, once the girl reveals herself and starts fighting one of the other guys, Stick comes with all the other ninjas from the trees, like Crouching Tiger. And they go back to their palace of sheets. I don't know what the laundry cost of this movie is for the white sheets.
Hi.
But there's a lot of them.
Yeah, it's just billowing white sheets in a completely dark mansion. And then Elektra in her power red suit. And then at the beginning, when I guess like the henchmen are coming in before, because she's like, Kigiri, like, let's just, you and me, let's go. And one of us is going to walk out of this. But I guess he sends people in beforehand, but she was ready for it and she just blows them all up.
Question. Your daddy left you a McMansion. You lock it up, don't touch it for whatever. But there's electricity?
There's
But somebody could pay the bills.
Yeah, and there's like a groundskeeper who's like maintaining the property. That would get dilapidated after a while. So you have to have somebody. He's a billionaire, so he has money aside for the house, money for utilities, and then
that was my question. What happened to the billions of dollars that she was supposed to have? Because her dad was a billionaire, but I guess she was claimed dead, so it just poof, it's gone now.
I went back into the company probably, but
I guess so.
like
Yeah.
if somebody is keeping up this house, why is the lock on the gate rusted as hell? She uses candles to light shit up, but then all of a sudden when the girl gets hurt at the end, she's able to walk her up the stairs and turn on the lamp.
Yeah.
Did she call FPL or Con Edison before she
the lights
like,
worked?
yo, I'm about to go kick some ass at my old house. Yeah, I'm alive. My code is X223. Yeah, can you turn the lights on? Thank you.
The lights were working. She just did the candle for just the aura of it. She wanted to like.
Well, and that makes the explosion more exciting if it's done by candle.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
I just those were the logical questions that popped up for me.
It's the same thing with the hair billowing. I learned this word, aura farming, and this was a lot of that. Like you were just doing it just for the coolness sake. So, walking around with candlelight, wind blowing, all that stuff.
Gotta get yourself in the right mindset for the big game.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
So she's fighting Kigiri. Yeah, I don't know how to say his name. And then Abby, the little girl, walks in, and so she's trying to help, but she's not really helping. And then Alexa's like, "Now I got to save your ass again. Like I was just gonna like kill this guy and be on with it." And then it's like at one point Electra's running up the stairs, and she's like, "Abby," and Abby whips her chain at her, and somehow Electra's able to like grab the chain and whip her over the stairs. I'm like, well, this was unnecessary.
It was a cool scene. I liked it.
I don't disagree.
I would put that a Lethal Weapon, Die Hard 5 stole from Elektra because they did the thing where they're both like chastising each other while they jump through a window together.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, that scene. That's like a scene that pops up later in like action scenes all the time where you just like you're both like talking to each other, like saying one-liners, and then jump through a glass window and fall to like a large period of time, like large distance.
I would say that actually came from the Long Kiss Goodnight.
Welcome to the 90s. The stunts are real and no one cares.
Yeah.
Well,
People,
I mean, Jennifer Garner did most of
Yeah.
her stunts in this movie. That's why I think you get so many good close-ups of her. She was very committed.
I think that's another reason why they did the movie because of just like out of all the actors they had, who was still in shape, that they didn't have to do much work to like get them in. She was already doing Alias stuff, so she was already like
In
in fighting shape, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, at one point she does one-armed pull-ups, and I was just thinking
yeah,
to myself, is she really doing that, or are they helping her? Because if she's
She
really
was
doing that, I'm
she
impressed.
was really
Nuts.
doing it. She
yeah.
was very dedicated to those
See those
roles.
arms? She had them
Yeah,
those arms, man. She was just
she
like,
She should
did.
never have let Ben Affleck turn her into a housewife.
Fucking
We
Ben
lost so
Affleck.
much.
And now he's touting fucking Dunkin' Donuts commercials left and right. Now they're in the maze, essentially. They're running in the maze
Yes.
away from all the different henchmen.
Yeah, and Elektra is slowly killing everyone, all the henchmen, and she rescues Abby, and then everything at the
Nick
end is
Fury
fuzzy.
is in the
No,
maze
yeah,
too.
her
Okay.
and yeah, they're fighting because the little girl is running behind her and then gets stopped by
Snakes.
the
Tattoo
snakes.
snakes.
Yeah.
And
And then
then, sorry, Sam, go ahead.
oh no, so look, she kills the tattoo snake guy. While that's happening, Abby's getting attacked again, but this time by typhoid gets poisoned. And then it's like she has to
Yes.
fight Curie. Like, no, I can't say his name.
Irigi?
Kurigi.
Drigi. The actress who plays Typhoid, who is supposed to be based on like Typhoid Mary, by the way, Natasha Mouth, she actually previously auditioned for the role of Elektra when in the Daredevil movie, which
Oh,
did not know that. I don't know if I've seen her in anything else. Did you guys recognize her?
Not even a little bit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He's been in a lot of small things, it feels like. Well, not small things, but small roles. Blood Rain, Percy Jackson, and Vikingdom, and
Okay.
Stark Raving Mad. I don't know, a couple things.
She was
And
supposed to be
then,
Typhoid Mary?
well,
Like,
it's
who
like
did you think a Marvel movie character
No,
called Typhoid was?
I know, but like the power set is not even the same. Like, and again, that's another Daredevil person. I don't.
Yes, it is. Well, exactly. That's once they said, she was poison and all that. I was like, oh, it's Typhoid Mary.
But like that
Yeah,
doesn't even.
I understand, but I had
the
to be her.
rage Sam has.
That's not her power set. That's not her power.
I get that, but still, you don't just name a character Typhoid in a
She
Daredevil-esque
could have named her
thing.
Viper. She could have been Viper.
No one cares about anybody named Viper.
Oh, Danielle, she was in Together the series in one
Ooh,
episode.
I need to rewatch that show. I haven't seen it in so long.
So Elektra finally just ends Karigi, but then she's really concerned because Typhoid got to Abby. So she brings her up to a bedroom, and then she has to channel the chaste and complete her learnings, which is why Stick kicked her out and recognize her abilities, and she was able to bring wax on, wax off, bring Abby back to life.
I
And
will
then, go ahead.
Oh, I will say that fight scene between her and
Freaky.
Greer
Three?
was really, really good. And it's weird to have a well placed in the middle of this fight, but I thought it was good. But it was also interesting because while they were filming the Psy sword fight, Jennifer Garner accidentally got her knuckles sliced by William Lee. She got them patched up because my girl's ready to go. She had ride or die, got back up, and this motherfucker did it again in the exact same spot. I would have cut
Maybe
him.
not do this stunt, Jen.
But
He's a liability issue at this point.
yeah.
I think it's weird that Jennifer Garner and Natasha Malthy were nominated for Best Kiss at the 2005 MTV Movie Awards.
Yeah, I just felt like they made this character, they were like, oh, it would be cool is if we had a girl kiss in this movie. How do we make that happen? Oh, let's wipe away all of her real powers and make it that if she kisses somebody, they die.
Yeah.
And that thing was long as fuck, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It was like the Dementors.
No, like I was remembering what I was thinking when I was a kid watching that. And I'm just like, there was no need for this, but also, yeah, that's totally what I wanted.
It was like the Dementors sucking the soul from people, where you're just like,
But
how
hotter.
is this gonna be? Like, what?
It
Their
actually
face
took
is
me a
coming
second.
off.
Took me a second to realize what you meant when you said they were nominated for Best Kiss. I was like, what movie was she in that she got nominated for Best Kiss? The same as Jennifer Garner in 2005. And then I realized, oh, you meant for this one. Oh,
Yes.
I'm like, wow, okay.
super slow-mo poison kiss, and they're just like falling. It's like Elektra! She's just falling with this like black petals coming down because of like death and whatever. And she's like Elektra's like all slumped over dead and like stuff.
Yeah.
It was like Fuck, Marry, Kill all in one slow-mo scene.
Someone in 2005 at the MTV Movie Awards was just watching it going, slower, nicer, nice. We're going to use this one. This will be the nominee.
So she revives the little girl. They go back to wherever, I don't know. They go back to the compound, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Blanket compound.
Yeah. So she goes and she makes out with Mark Miller one more time. I
hated that.
Right.
The dumbest pickup line ever.
One for the road.
I don't know what happens after that.
So according to ChatGPT, Elektra releases Mark and Abby to live their lives in peace. She's still brooding, but now slightly less so. Elektra walks off alone, ready to face whatever comes next. And in parentheses, but no sequel ever came.
Well, that's not true. Our girl was in Deadpool.
She was.
And
many years later.
I love that for her. I love that she got to be side by side with Blade. Great. I was loving it. Wolverine. Oh, yeah. I was like, they do my girl justice.
She even gets to throw shade at her
ex-husband. Yes, I'm glad that I'm surprised Ryan didn't try to get Ben. Maybe he did, but like I'm okay. I know why he got Jennifer though, because they had done a movie together and they seemed to be pretty cool with each other. But getting into some gossip. First of all, if you want to know a full-on timeline of the Bennifer Jen and Ben saga, I think we have that in our Daredevil episode, correct?
Yes. In the bonus episode, I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I it's one of my prized jewels that I've ever done. But it is quite interesting because if you read the blind items, you'll know that allegedly when Ben was doing the town, he was having an affair with Blake Lively. So as much as Jennifer does love Ryan Reynolds, she does avoid really interacting with him when his wife is. So I don't think his wife was on set during that time because she don't fuck with Blake Lively. And that's your dirt for the day, y'all.
And that is Elektra.
Okay, let's see what fun facts we missed.
Bowman stated that the film was literally 12 frames of film from an R rating due to MPAA objections to several death scenes.
Probably cooler deaths.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just green mist.
Although the comic strip, Elektra usually wears a pair of large gold hoop earrings as a part of her costume, Jennifer Garner did not wear them, as well as her do-rag thing that she'd be wearing. So I guess it was like hard. She was unable to wear them as they were pierced ears. And Jennifer Garner didn't have ears. Her ears pierced at the time. Also, I just think the big hoops would have been a liability in those action scenes, especially with the wind-blowing fan situation as well. And Jennifer Garner did fight to make sure that Elektra had her signature red look in this movie that she compromised to not have in the Daredevil movie because she was wearing black in that one.
Although, funny enough, I think later on when they did some Ultimate Spider-Man comic books and introduced Elektra, her look was probably closer to Jennifer Garner's from Daredevil at that point. They gave her like a black outfit that looked a lot closer.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Apparently, we're supposed to have an Elektra video game. That would have been fun, but not to be.
Out of all of the crap video games that have ever been produced, we couldn't get an Elektra video game thrown in there.
It would have been fun.
Little boys in the 90s, they can't be a girl, can't play as a girl.
Except they were all Tomb Raider.
Well, and how many of them
they were playing
Chun-Li?
Tomb Raider for the wrong reasons.
They were totally playing Tomb Raider.
Also Chun-Li for the wrong reasons.
Her boobs look like blocks in the Tomb Raider, like literally square blocks.
You're absolutely right. And it was for the wrong reasons.
Well,
and then Chun-Li, she had that upside down spinning bird kick thing. No, wrong reasons. You don't want teenage boys. Not in the 90s.
I think I'm trying to think which one is in our time frame. I think Mortal Kombat is in our time frame, but I don't think Street Fighter is. I think Street Fighter came out in 94.
It was earlier, definitely.
It is 94. So technically we could make an allowance for it, but I don't know.
A double feature. I don't think
it's Street Fighter.
I think a double feature would be confusing because, like, I can't remember no names.
But you
I
know
was-
what
okay.
is in our time frame? Tomb Raider.
Oh, okay. I do find it interesting, the origin story of this before this movie got made. So in 1987, which is wild that they were even thinking about doing it then, after the success of Frank Miller's Elektra Assassin, Marvel tried to adapt the graphic novel into a live action film. After selling the rights to New Line Cinema, Frank Miller was hired to pen a screenplay based on the graphic novel. But later on, screenwriters Jim McBride and Kit Carson were hired to write the second script. Director Oliver Stone was later signed to direct and wanted volleyball player, model, and actress Gabrielle Reese to star as Elektra. The project was canceled as it should have been. After the rights to Elektra were sold to 20th Century Fox. That would have been a nightmare. Gabrielle Reese can't act. I've seen some commercials. Love her, but no.
Only 55.
Mm-mm.
She would have been very young at the time.
Yeah, that's a hard pass. I'm telling you, these studio heads know nothing. I don't know what decisions that they're making. It's ridiculous.
I think they're just like, hey, there's this hot, tall chick. Let me offer her a movie.
I mean, outside of the Angela Bassett rumors, wasn't like rumored for Storm for a long time too?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that I knew.
Exactly.
All right,
It's gotta
guys.
be good enough.
Before we get into our ratings, why don't you tell everyone, Sam, we'll start with you, where they can find your podcast and your social media.
Oh, so you can find 4 Minutes Too on every place you normally find podcasts, so Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, all that stuff. And you can find me on 4 Minutes Too on Twitter, I'm calling it X, Instagram, TikTok, and I think that's it.
So you could find a hit ho. American history is the history of everyone. Look at rapturepress.com. That's probably the best place to find it. It's also on Instagram. It will be there. It's on Red Note, teaching the Chinese as well, because welcome to them, our new overlords. But mostly Rapture Press, because I don't remember what my social handles are precisely to say it right now.
We'll put them in the notes, everybody. So yeah. And don't forget to check us out at No More Late Fees on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Threads. And we'll get into present day ratings. Andrew, we'll start with you.
5 days. I liked it. I could watch it again. I was wrong, and I admit that.
I love that for us.
2 days.
Fair.
It felt like a direct-to-DVD kind of movie that didn't get the budget it needed to get. The only thing I liked about the movie was Elektra, and that's like because there's really nothing else happening there. Which was kind of, but yeah.
Jackie?
Same day rental, because I'm out of Lego sets to build.
You can always buy more. Just saying.
I'm running out of room.
Send you an Elektra one.
Lego sets.
As for me, would I watch this again? Yes. Would I buy it again? Probably. I don't have to because I have it on DVD. So whatever. Fuck everybody. Would buy again.
I mean, you say it with your whole chest, and that's you do you. According to Danielle, there is nothing wrong with this movie, and that's okay.
Not a thing. Even dissecting it is, look, it's 10 times better than Daredevil. It's better than Fantastic Four. Like, literally, if I was going to rank the MCU at that time, it's Blade all the way for me, Spider-Man 1 and 2, maybe the X-Men movie, just because I was so hyped about it. And Elektra's like definitely right there. I don't see anything else. Like, it's better than half the other shit that came out in the MCU.
You thought Elektra was better than the Daredevil movie?
Yeah.
Director's cut.
Now, Colin Farrell in the airport scene in the director's cut, fucking priceless. Him in the airplane killing that lady with just
the paperclip.
With a paperclip.
That was a peanut, actually.
Peanut.
Oh,
Peanut,
yes,
right.
a peanut. Sorry, he flicked it like.
Yes.
Okay, just for the
Priceless.
record, were you like I watched that again recently? Did you listen to what the old lady was saying during that
Yes.
stuff? Like, my eyes bugged out. If anyone is out there, just look up that scene. Listen to what she's talking about. She goes so left so quickly. It's
Yeah.
wild.
I want a whole movie about Bullseye.
Yes.
Colin Farrell's Bullseye.
And that should have been the hint that he would be like, now we're watching him in the Penguin. Like, they had gold there and they fucked it up. So, but yes, Sam, with my full chest, Elektra is better than Daredevil.
At least Daredevil had camp that kept me interested, like focused on it. Elektra was a little.
I will say I could follow Daredevil's plot line.
Okay. I'm just saying it's not as bad as everyone's making it out to be.
Well, if you'd like to join in this Daredevil versus Elektra debate, hit us up at our quick drop 909-601-6653. Twat us at the Twitters, hem us at the threads, butterfly in the sky at Blue Skies, and you could be featured on a future episode.
And join us next week as we take on the body swap classic, Wish Upon a Star.
Andrew, Sam, it was a pleasure, as always.
Thank you.
I had so much fun, and thank you for pointing out things to Danielle that myself alone couldn't. I needed backup for certain things.
Whatever, 3, 5, 10. I don't care how many people. I'm still gonna say when I love this.
Then the whole hand and the foot. Danielle stand 10 toes down. Elektra.
And I'm waiting for a sequel. I'm gonna hold out hope, and it may be not a sequel just with her, but she is now in the MCU.
She is. So. That is a fact. And as always, be kind and rewind.